Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flannel Channel, and I'm hanging out with my oldest son Jacob. This is our father-son project car. You might not know about it. We've done some posting on social media about it, and we started on this project way before we had a YouTube channel. So we've had little clips and pieces of the backstory of this car, what it is, but I thought let's do a full episode, kind of a deep dive on this car, so that you guys can get to know Jacob a little bit more, you can get to know this project a little bit more, and then hopefully you can see some of the future projects and some of the things that we have planned for this fun machine that we've had a blast building together as the two of us. So, Jacob, why don't you just start at the beginning of where this project originated from, what you've done to it, and we're just going to kind of do a walk around of the car itself. And yeah, so take over. What's the backstory?
So, I actually started with just an engine. I didn't even have a car to begin with. I sold my daily driver at the time and bought a junkyard 6-liter LS, and we just tore into it. I didn't know what we were going to find. But
so you sold your daily driver car to buy an engine,
yeah,
and didn't have a car to put it in.
No, nope. But I knew I wanted a big V8. I knew I wanted to put it in something someday.
Yeah.
Started a project.
Awesome.
So we built that engine over a period of about a year and a half or so.
Yep.
And by the time I was going back together and went to cold storage, we said we should start looking for something to do, something to put it in. And lo and behold, this thing showed up. It was on Facebook Marketplace, and I bought it from the grandson of a little old lady who recently passed away. And
so it's truly a grandma fresh, old school car.
Truly, genuinely, she drove it to church and the grocery store its whole life.
The classic story.
Yep. She was the original owner. Her and her husband bought it back when it was brand new.
Yeah.
It just was sat in the garage and left to go around town.
And so back when I was a kid, or my dad, we would call that a sleeper. So basically a grandma car.
Yep.
And when you bought it, it didn't even have a V8 in it, right? I mean, it was like bone stock.
Yeah, it had the old wheezy V6 that you could barely go anywhere with.
And so the whole point of you buying this car was, I'm going to rip that engine out and we're going to put your 6.0 LS in it.
Yep. Make a really slow looking car really fast.
Yeah.
That was the whole plan.
Yep. That's awesome. And so you've basically, as best you could, you've kept the car looking stock on the outside.
Yep.
But it doesn't sound stock, and everybody can tell there's something going on when they hear you coming.
Right.
But they don't always necessarily know what it's packing.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So specifically, what year, how many miles, things like that? What
is a 1983 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, and we're pretty sure it's a Brougham package as well. I don't know.
Brougham, however you say that, Brougham.
Whatever, yeah. And yeah, 4-door Cutlass, and I think it's like 82,000 on it.
Yeah.
I think just a bunch of in-town driving miles.
I remember the day that you brought this thing home. It smelled like cat food inside that trunk.
Yep.
This thing was grandma fresh. It had some remnants that still said like little old lady inside the car.
Yeah. In fact, this pillow right here, this little pillow came with the car. Just sitting in the passenger seat.
You know it's genuine. Had a blanket over the back seat.
Yeah.
It had a Kleenex box in the back window. It had the old lady's cane even inside the car still.
Yeah, it was inside the trunk. I think it was her backup cane.
And so when it came time for us to name the car, because it's fun to just name stuff, where would the inspiration for the name come from?
Well, the little old lady's name was Rosie, so we were giving this car a second life.
Yeah.
So we want to name it Rosie's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
bringing the car back, giving Rosie second wind into her old car.
Yep.
So, yeah,
That's awesome.
That's where the inspiration came from there.
And so looking on the interior of the car, really the only two clues that anything's been done to it is the shifter, the V&M ratchet shifter, and the tack. That's about the only two clues that anything is suspicious inside. But Jacob, take us under the hood quick.
Yeah.
And why don't you describe a little bit about what you did to the LS to make it yours and make it fast, performance-wise. What's been done to this thing?
So we went through it, ripped every single piece out of this engine down to a bare block, and replaced bearings in the bottom end. We planed the heads a little bit, so we got a little bit higher compression. We have a high performance comp cam in there, and it's designed for being a turbocharged cam.
Mm-hmm.
So it runs really good without any boost at it, but it really, really, really likes boost.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
because I've always wanted a turbocharged V8. So you can see where my motivation is going later on.
Yeah. So right now it's NA, it's naturally aspirated,
Yep.
but you chose a cam that was specifically a turbo cam with
Right.
the intention of someday putting a turbo on it.
Yep.
And so, what do you have for fuel injection on this thing? What system is running it?
So I got a Holley Terminator X system. I have a little digital dash tucked away up inside the cab where nobody can see it, and that runs almost all my vitals. And if I want to tune anything anywhere on this whole system, I can grab my laptop and just plug right into the ECU and write almost anything I want to it.
Yep.
So that way I have a lot of versatility and be able to change from fuel to airflow, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So,
And long tube headers.
yep.
Transmission, what are you running there?
So I'm running a 4L60E, which I know a lot of people don't like the 4L60E, but I chose it because it's a little bit lighter. And I had a professional transmission builder actually tear into the entire thing and put race clutches in it, and put a shift kit in, and Corvette servos. So the whole thing's beefed up to be able to handle presumably everything we throw at it.
Torque converter is
Custom.
Custom race converter also.
Yep.
So gets those RPMs up higher.
Mm-hmm.
The rear diff on these G bodies is notoriously weak, so we went through that.
Yep, I have a Eaton Posi rear end with Moser axles and 373 gears to hopefully beef up the thing as much as we can go. We're probably going to blow it up someday.
Probably. It's still the stock housing in this thing,
Yeah.
but just to keep things stock appearing and stock wheels and things like that for now. But eventually down the road we'll probably have to switch to like an 8.8 or a 9 inch
Yeah.
or something like that
Yep.
for more strength.
Right.
But suspension wise, brakes, everything like that.
It's
anything
all grandma stuff
It's all
still.
stock, completely stock.
The whole thing.
Yep. Aluminum radiator, obviously long tube headers, but the long tube headers are going to be changing soon. And so that brings us to where we're going with all this introduction, letting you guys know a little bit about what Rosie can do now. Where is this headed?
Well, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this car soon. We're going to be, like I said and mentioned a little bit earlier, we're going to be putting a turbo on this thing. We got a pretty big event that we can't disclose too many details about quite yet, but we got a pretty big event that we're going to be invited to, and it requires a turbo. So
Yep.
it's finally happening.
So we have some turbos picked out. We actually have 3 in mind, but we're going to try and choose the best of them. We've never done this before. We're kind of figuring it out as we go, and so
Yep.
we have like stock GM manifolds and a crossover pipe. We're planning on flipping it upside down, welding a flange on, mounting the turbo in here somehow, getting our ducting, the piping, the plumbing for the oil and the drain back, and figuring it out. And I don't know, it
We'll
might be
figure it out.
hilarious, but yeah. So that's
Yep.
part of the fun. That's kind of how this whole project is going. Is like, this is going to happen. We're going to force this to happen, but let's figure it out on the way.
Yep.
And should be fun. So anyway, that's the quick and dirty introduction to the car. and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a taste, kind of a baseline of where this thing is at, and you're going to be seeing more of it. Like Jacob said, we have some big things planned, not only the turbo, but events and road trips and things like that. That was the whole intention in building this car together as a father and son, is that we're going to be doing events together as a father and son, competing and doing fun things, because not only was it fun to do the engine and it's fun to install it and projects together, but it's fun to do events together too and make memories together, because that's the whole point, is to build these cars to drive and have fun. Yep. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do for this episode. But like Jacob said, we want to bring you guys along on the build, so as we start fabricating and changing things up and doing a redneck style turbo swap on this thing, that's what you can expect to see on the series with Rosie's Revenge. Thanks so much, everybody. Peace and grease.